Hey guys, so I have a sort of special TBR that I would love to do for this month. So this is kind of like a December TBR, but I think it might take me a little bit longer than December to do, just because there are several books in this little TBR that I want to do. It's just something that I would really like to start now, and then kind of use as a jumping point for some of the stuff I want to read next year, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit more as I go into it. But over the past several months, like a lot throughout, just mostly throughout this year, I've been kind of picking up and collecting here and there some books that are, I mean, I've been on this kind of mystery thriller kick for a while. I've kind of gone more towards a fantasy and science fiction kick right now, but I'm still very much in the mood for mystery and thriller. And I was in a big, long stretch of just reading a lot of those mystery thriller books for a while. And so I've been trying to find a more wide variety of stuff to get. And so some of these things I picked up, not entirely because I knew what the stories were about 100%, but just because I knew that they were set in different places. This is sort of like an international detective mystery thriller kind of TBR, because I've been collecting a bunch of the detective mystery books that are set in different countries around the world and written by authors from different countries around the world. And I've just been seeing them in random places, thrift stores and other bookstores, and I've just been picking up as I see them. And I've found some whole series in some cases, and it's been really fun to collect them, and now I finally need to start actually diving into them and reading them. And so next year right now I would love to read the first book in a bunch of these series, and then next year maybe I can get even more into the series as a whole. So I do have quite a few books in some of these series. So the very first one is called Still Life by Louise Penny. This is part of the Chief Inspector Gamache, that's how I've been saying it in my head. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but this is set in Canada. This is by a Canadian author and set in Canada. And I actually found a bunch of these books all at once, and then I was able to find this first book, and so I'm going to give this a shot. I don't entirely know what this is about. I just know that this series has been on for a little while, and she keeps on publishing and writing and publishing these books about this character. I know it's kind of become a beloved detective character now, and I know a lot of people that really like these a lot, and I'm going to give it a shot and see what I think of it, and hopefully I really like it so I can continue on with the series, because I have all of them up until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth one. So first plus the next 5. And then the next one is, I'm not sure if it's the first in a series. I think it is, and I'm not sure if there's more books out in the series yet, because I think it was just published last year. But it is The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopra. So this is about a detective, an inspector in India, and he's about to retire, and all of a sudden he inherits an elephant, something like that, and he finds out that he needs to solve one last case before he goes into retirement. And I mostly picked it up because it's set in India and it's a detective book. So I saw this in a thrift store, and it was in perfect condition, and I really wanted to give it a shot, so I grabbed it. The next one is absolutely gorgeous, and I've heard amazing things about this, nothing but good things about this. It is Dissolution by C.J. Sampson. This is the first book in the Matthew Shardlake series. This takes place during the 16th century. It's a Tudor mystery novel. And other than that, I don't know too much about it, honestly, and I kind of want to go in like that. It's historical fiction, mystery, detective kind of thing, and I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. This edition is beautiful. It's a 10th anniversary edition, and I think these are still coming out. Possibly, or they've been coming out for a while, and there's still several more in the series. I would love to get them all in these editions if I can, but it's quite beautiful, and I'm going to give it a shot. The pages are like black and stuff. And the next one is The Number One Ladies Detective Agency. If you have watched my video from yesterday, my currently reading video, and the small book haul I did, you saw that I hauled the 6th, 7th, and 8th books in the series. I have the first 9 already. They're all very thin, like this one. And this is like supposed to be like a feel-good, cozy mystery kind of thing set in Zimbabwe in Africa. And I am quite looking forward to that. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to really like it. I've heard nothing but good things about it as well. And the next one is by Andre Camilleri. It is The Shape of Water. The first 3 in this one, and I found this in a bookstore that sells remainders, and they sell them for really cheap, and they had the first 3, and they look super beautiful. They all look beautiful like this, and they're set in Italy. And as soon as I found out they were set in Italy, I wanted to get them. They're detective novels as well, and a detective novel set in Italy sounds fantastic to me, and they're also just really short. All of them are really short like this, so I'm hoping that I can get through them and enjoy them. And then this one is called Bangkok 8 by John Burdett. This one is set in Taiwan. I believe the author lived in Taiwan for a little while. I think he actually lives in China right now. I think this one is supposed to be more of a thriller. It's supposed to be kind of humorous, and it follows a half Thai, half white police detective, and he is investigating the murder of a Marine in Taiwan. So it's supposed to be really entertaining, and I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the next one, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I'm going to give it a shot. It's Leanne Morty, Big Little Lies. And I know she just recently came out with another book, and she has several books that people seem to really like. I think I've heard mixed things about her. Some people really like her, some people don't like her. She's from Australia. This book is set in Australia. And Giselle actually picked these up for herself, and when she did, I was like, oh, I kind of want to give those a shot. So I decided to put this in this TBR and see if I like her writing and see if I can get into it. The next one, it actually takes place in New Hampshire, but it's written by a Swiss guy, and it was written in French originally, so this is the translation of it into English. And it is The Truth About the Harry Quebert Affair by Joel Dicker. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I think it's about two writers. One writer apparently had an affair with a very young girl and is now the suspect in her murder. But then there's this other writer, this younger writer, who kind of looks up to this guy who's been now suspected of murder of this girl. And so it's a nice thick book, and it looks really interesting. It's gotten some really good reviews, and I'm going to give it a shot as well. And the next one I kind of down on a whim. I mostly got it because it was a mystery. I got it from a thrift store quite a bit ago, and it's Morality Play by Barry Unsworth. This was actually shortlisted for a Man Booker Prize back in the 90s. And this takes place in the 14th century. It's kind of like a medieval mystery setting, and I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. It's nice and quick, nice and short, so hopefully I'll be able to get through it easily enough. And so, like I said, I don't know too much about any of these story-wise. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm like that about it. I kind of picked them up to all go with this sort of mystery thriller, international mystery thriller theme. And there's one more book that I'm also going to be reading in December. I just mentioned it yesterday. It's No One Knows by J.T. Ellison. This takes place in like Tennessee, I think. So America's a country. It's international. I live here, but if I live somewhere else, then this would be international. So whatever. It's a mystery book. I'm going to give it a shot and see how I think about it. So it's another mystery book I'm going to be reading in December. And then as for audiobooks, there are several audiobooks actually also that I'm going to be listening to as a part of this. The newest Dublin Murder Squad book would have been a really good candidate for this, but I couldn't wait and listen to it already a couple months ago, The Trespasser, and I liked that well enough. It's not one of my favorites in the series, but I did like it better than the last one that came out. And I'm also going to be listening to the 8th book in the Flavia Deluce series by Alan Bradley, which is Thrice the Brinded Cat Hath Mewed, and I'm so looking forward to reading this one because I've been waiting for a while. I read all of them pretty much back to back last year and loved all of them so much. And I got Giselle to read the first one, and she really liked it as well. And hopefully she'll be continuing the series soon as well. And I'm really looking forward to getting into it. And I'm not sure how many books are going to be in that series total, but I'm really glad there's a new one out. And then I'm going to be listening to The Keeper of Lost Causes, which I believe is a Danish book by Jussi Adler Olsen. And then I'm also going to be listening to The Bat by Jo Nesbø, which is Norwegian, I believe. And yeah, so that one's also a very popular series. I've seen his books around all the time, and I've actually never seen a physical edition of that first book, The Bat, in a thrift store before. I've seen tons of the other books in thrift stores before, and I just never picked any of them up. So I'm going to give that one a listen and see if I like it, and maybe I'll continue on with the series and see what I think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all of what I'm going to be reading in this upcoming month. I'm going to be listening to probably those are only 3 audiobooks that I have planned, so I'm probably going to be listening to more science fiction and fantasy books, so I can still get my fill of that while I'm physically reading these books. So thank you guys so much for watching. I think that's pretty much it for today. If you have any comments on any of this stuff, if you've read any of these series, if you've gotten through any of the books in these series, I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Please share them with me. And if you have any books in this pile that you would specifically like me to talk about more in the future, possibly do a full review of any of them in the future, then let me know which ones you're the most interested in, because I would love to do some reviews of some of them as well, but I'm not entirely sure which ones I'm going to do yet. So thank you guys so much for watching. I think that's pretty much it for today, and I will see you later with more.